Hello, I answer in the name of Jenny. I am very happy to tell you about a very effective product, namely Exipure. What is Exipure? Exipure is a dietary supplement that will help target the brown adipose tissue, BAT, and help in burning more calories. You can find fatty tissue in the muscles where fat molecules are stored. There are two types of adipose tissue. White adipose will absorb the fatty acids and, therefore, cause an increase in your body weight, and brown adipose, which causes burning of the fat molecules. Exipure uses this particular concept to ensure that you can lose fat and tackle the obesity problems. What are the ingredients of Exipure? Perilla leaves. The first name in Exipure ingredients is perilla, a plant with a high medicinal value. It has certain compounds that enhance BAT levels in the body. Other benefits of it include improving cognitive health, memory, focus, and immunity. Some traditional uses of these plants include using it for lowering high cholesterol levels and protecting the heart from damage. Holy Basil. Next in the Exipure ingredients list is Holy Basil, a plant with spiritual and medicinal status. It plays a direct role in BAT conversion, helping the body lose weight. It also acts upon stress by controlling the production and release of cortisol hormone that also affects appetite and overeating. With this complete control, the body loses weight efficiently, without any suffering. White Korean ginseng. This ingredient is available separately too, but using it alone does not mean the same as using Exipure pills. Ginseng offers tremendous effects on immunity by lowering oxidative stress and protecting the body from all uninvited pathogens and diseases. The typical weight loss makes the body weak, but when the body is able to fight back, the chances of weakness slow down. Amur corp bark. This ingredient is an unusual name, and it is not common like other Exipure ingredients. This bark carries some of the vital antioxidants and phytochemicals that suggest its role in digestion and fat burn. It works on the digestive issues that sometimes show up when the body gets rid of the fat. Quercetin. This is a well-researched compound with active involvement in regulating blood pressure, glucose, nerve health, and brain-to-body connection. It is often added to dietary supplements for these reasons and is also a part of the Exipure formula. Oleuropein. The last name in this list is oleuropein, a compound from olive oil. It helps maintain ideal cardiovascular health and is more beneficial for people who are highly obese. The names in the Exipure formula suggest a herbal origin. While the exact sources of them are not mentioned, this information can be obtained from the company if one is curious about it. None of these ingredients can cause side effects or allergic reactions in the body. Meanwhile, there is plenty of evidence confirming their advantages. How does Exipure work? Maintaining a calorie deficit and caloric intake is the only way to lose weight until you discover a weight reduction magic wand in your fantasies. It's true that weight loss isn't a simple or fast process. To lose weight in a healthy way, you must expend more calories than you take in. The same is true with Exipure. Brown adipose tissue is boosted as they burn more than 300 times more calories than white adipose tissue to help you lose weight quickly. Where should you buy Exipure? And guarantees. Providing security under a construction contract is an important risk allocation mechanism that can give rise to disputes between parties. Although bank guarantees are a popular way of providing security, when misused under a contract, they can have large implications for a party's reputation and future borrowing ability. This often gives rise to parties disputing how and when bank guarantees should be released or retained in accordance with the contract. Most construction contracts require the contractor to provide some form of security to the principal, with the usual position requiring 50% of the held security to be released upon practical completion, with the remainder to be released upon the expiry of the defect's liability period or soon after. It has largely been uncontroversial that the contractor's obligation to provide security continues until the security is due for release under the contract, unless the security is called upon prior to that time. However, the main contractor performing the refurbishment of Daydream Island in the Whitsundays recently challenged this position in the Supreme Court of Queensland in the case of CCIG, Australia, Proprietary Ltd. The Amicus Hospitality Group Proprietary Ltd., 2019, QSC 232, CCIG. The Amicus. The principal sought an order for specific performance that the contractor provide the principal with a substitute bank guarantee pending expiry of its right to hold security under the contract, and sought a declaration of its entitlement to that effect under the contract. The facts, towards the commencement of the project on Daydream Island, the contractor provided the principal with 2 bank guarantees, which each had an expiry date which respectively accorded with the date for practical completion of the last separable portion, and what would be final completion. In its first progress payment to the contractor, the principal had essentially given the contractor a deposit for the bank guarantees to allow it to procure the issue of the bank guarantees from the Commonwealth Bank of Australia in favor of the principal. Upon receipt of the original bank guarantees, the principal locked them away for safekeeping, and there was no express communication with the contractor thereafter either approving or disapproving the form of the bank guarantees. The contractor commenced work, and the scope subsequently increased significantly, with the result that the date for practical completion was also extended accordingly. Consequently, the defect's liability period was not due to expire until quite some time after the second bank guarantee expired, leaving the principal unsecured for most of the defect's liability period. The principal requested that the contractor provide replacement security pursuant to the contract, which the contractor refused, submitting that its obligation under the contract to provide the security had been discharged on account of the principal's approval at the commencement of the project. Of the security then provided, the principal applied to the court for urgent declaratory relief that upon proper construction of the contract, the contractor was required to provide the security until 14 days after the issue of the final certificate pursuant to Clause 42.8 in order for specific performance that the contractor provide the security. The court refused to provide urgent relief and instead listed the matter for trial before Justice Mullins. The contractual obligation to provide security. The contract incorporated, largely unamended, the AS 2124-1992 General Conditions. Clause 5 of the General Conditions required the contractor to provide security to the principal. Relevantly, Clause 5.1 Security, retention monies and performance undertakings. Security, retention monies and performance undertakings are for the purpose of ensuring the due and proper performance of the contract. Clause 5.2 Provision of security. If it is provided in the annexure that a party shall provide security, then the party shall provide security in the amount stated in the annexure and in accordance with this clause. Clause 5.3 Form of security. The security shall be in the form of cash, bonds, or inscribed stock issued by the Australian Government or the Government of a State or Territory of Australia, interest-bearing deposit in a trading bank carrying on business in Australia, an approved unconditional undertaking given by an approved financial institution or insurance company, or other form approved by the party having the benefit of the security. The party having the benefit of the security shall have a discretion to approve or disapprove of the form of an unconditional undertaking and the financial institution or insurance company giving it or other form of security offered. The form of unconditional undertaking attached to these general conditions is approved, Annexure Part A to the general conditions, provided that the contractor was to provide 2 unconditional bank guarantees each for 2.5% of the contract sum. Clause 5.7 provided for the reduction of security and retention monies by 50% upon the works reaching practical completion, and Clause 5.8 together with Clause 42.8 required that the remainder of the security held by the principal be released to the contractor within 14 days of the issue of the final certificate, which certifies a balance owing from the principal to the contractor. The decision, the principal submitted that the contractor had a continuing obligation to comply with Clause 5 of the contract in the provision of security, the purpose of which, as expressly stated in Clause 5.1, is to secure the benefit of the principal to the due and proper performance of the contract by the contractor. The contractor was in breach of its obligations under Clause 5.3 of the contract as a result of the bank guarantees containing the expiry dates. The contractor submitted that as the principal had not objected to the 2 original bank guarantees with expiry dates when they were provided, it had impliedly approved them, with the consequence that the contractor had complied with its obligations under the contract and was not required to provide further security after the bank guarantees expired. The contractor submitted that, pursuant to the second paragraph of Clause 5.3, the principal had the discretion to approve the form of security provided, and upon receipt of the bank guarantees did not object to the fact that they contained an expiry date pursuant to Clause 20.3 of the contract. The principal was not liable to pay any amounts included in a payment claim that was submitted in circumstances where the contractor had not provided the principal with approved security for the amount required. Despite the principal's right under Clause 20.3, over the course of the project the contractor submitted payment claims which were paid by the principal without any issue being raised about the adequacy of the bank guarantee. I will leave the official site in the description. Click on the site to be able to buy it.